Oh, dang. I
That's
hit,
okay.
I guess it didn't go. Okay, so quick recap of those scales. Major scale, second finger on G, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Starting again at this do. 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. And you have an extra note up here if you need it. And I talked about practicing alternate picking up down for every single note. And so that can be used for any standard melodic, like stuff that's really inside major stuff, you know? So regular major scale stuff. When I'm soloing in major blues, I tend to orient myself on this home note and think about 1, 3, and 5 right here. 1, 3, 5, 6 is here. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about the recording because I thought I was recording all this stuff before. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. And then I use that 3, I use the minor third with it as a little grace note. Right there I jump down to 6 with my first finger. Then we talk about the minor blues. Starts with the minor pentatonic scale. 1 here, 4 there. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. And an extra 4 up here when you want it. But that's home. So home is here and here and there. Those are all do. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. It's like we were talking about before. They're all 1 and 3, except for the bottom one and the top 2. So usually orient myself here again as home, and then play blues licks from there, going up, going down, but always coming back to this as my home. Then adding that blue note C sharp, sharp 4, and the bend. Doing that pinch earlier too. finding sweet spots with the. It's where I'm hitting it with the pick and the flesh of my thumb at the same time, and it's like I'm getting a harmonic out of it.
Yeah. So for the minor pentatonic, it's not a specific key, it's just like a standard shape.
It's a shape. I'm in the key of G right now.
Okay.
G is my starting note at the bottom. That's how I always get oriented. That's why I was calling these 6-string shapes because they're based on a six. Like I think of this 6-string chord. Do you know a standard bar chord like this? It's the E shape, right? But with a bar. So there's E major, F major, G, A. I'm going to go up the dots. The dots give you G and A. B is a dot, and then C is a half step above B. D and E, which is hard on this. There's no cutaway on this guitar, but 12th fret is E. So it's really, really important to orient yourself, especially on the 6th and 5th strings. Know your white key major scale. Know your C major scale on those 2 strings so that you can make your chords based on those bass notes. So again, the G or the low E string, E, F, G, and then use the dots. A, B, C is a half step above that B, and then D and E. So this dot is a D flat, so I don't use that dot. I use the C and the D on either side of it. And so I'm very familiar with where that is, so I can put my hand, if I need to play in the key of A, I put my hand there, I can play my A major scale, I can play my A blues scale, if I need to play in C, I just orient myself to that C. Then I talked a little bit about the power chords. Let's think in A for a second. Let's say we're in A. Using a power chord with a variant if you want kind of that old school rockabilly sound. Blues progression up a string to the 4 chord, back down to the 1 chord, then up a string and up 2 frets for 5, 4, 1. And I think we're kind of caught up now. Get all that stuff recorded.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ask questions.
What's a good way to like learn the fretboard, like where the notes are at, and like yeah, just to know the fretboard, like I know the keys and the keyboard, you know.
Find another guitar teacher. That's my advice.
Okay.
Because I don't. I mean,
Okay.
I do in some spots. When I'm playing
Yeah.
bass, I'm much more familiar with. I think more about specific notes because there's only 4 strings.
Hmm.
But for me, I work with patterns. I'm more of a rock guitar player. I mean, I play some jazz stuff, but it's really based on patterns. I'm not thinking about where I am note
Okay.
wise.
It's easier to think of it that way when playing guitar.
Yeah, the guitar is it's way easier to think patterns because when you learn
Okay.
a pattern, now you've got it in all the keys.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm
Okay.
of course not discouraging you from learning the fingerboard.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Learn the fingerboard. I mean, it's
Yeah.
awesome. I wish I'd spent time, or maybe someday I will still, but I've been playing guitar for a long time, and I've never done it. I know some of it. There's sometimes, I can get up the B string pretty easily, because I have some patterns that I use where I need to know where 1 is. So I know that's a G, A, B. So I know the B string pretty well. I know the bottom 2 strings really well. I know the top string really well. So it's really if I sat down for probably 2 hours one day, I would do it.
Okay.
Um, and learn the middle two strings. But again, when you're on guitar, and again, I'm not discouraging you from doing
Yeah.
that. But for most guitar approaches, it's pattern approaches. And so, like the way I've been talking about those scales, and the same thing with learning chord shapes up and down the fingerboard, you want to know, you need to know where your roots are. That's why I was suggesting the sixth and fifth strings in particular. I know the sixth and fifth strings in and out because that's where I put my roots. I play mostly sixth string chords and fifth string chords, especially when I'm playing jazz. And so I know those in and out. But once I get to that position, then I'm thinking just numbers and shapes.
Okay.
Yeah. If I were to do it, what I would suggest is play a C major scale on every string, from open to the 12th fret. You know, and it like I just did it on the sixth string. G A B C D E, A B C D E F G A, D E F G, A B C D. So I have to think for a second. G A B C D E F G, and then this, I know the fifth string or the second string pretty well. B C D E F G A B, and then E F G A B C D E. So I would practice that, practicing the major scale on all the strings so you know right where everything is. And the dots really help. They're there for a particular reason. You know, they keep you oriented. All right.
Okay.
So what about styles? Like, I mean, there's good old strumming, right? I played a lot of country music growing up. This is my dad's guitar. He played a lot of country music on his
Okay.
guitar. So I use a lot of root 5. Alternating bass, roots and fifths.
So so for the picking, when do you how do you know like what strings to pick?
Well, you want to make sure you know where the root is
Uh-huh.
on each of your chords. Most
Okay.
of the open chords that we learn, and even bar chords too, they're mostly sixth string and fifth string chords with the occasional fourth string chord. So know that a G is a sixth string chord. C is a fifth string chord, so I want to hit the fifth string for my root.
Okay.
The C I use has this G here as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you can strum them all, but you don't want to hit that as the bass note. You're going to get a 1-6-4 chord. You're going to get the. So I want to hit this. D is a 4-string chord. So
You always start from the D. You said it starts from the fourth string. You always from that one starting point.
yeah, that's
Okay.
where the D chord is the 4th string chord. So it uses the D string as the bass.
Okay.
So those are the biggies, you know. G, E, of course, is an E chord. A, open, 5th string. F is going to be 6, B, 5th, and I mostly play B7s. I don't usually play in the key of B. If I were going to play in the key of B, I'd cheat and go up here and just use a bar chord. Playing in B down here would just be a pain. That would be your 1 chord, that would be your 5 chord. Your 4 chord would be open.
So it's the same thing when you were and you were strumming, right? It's the same thing for just like picking. Is strumming and picking two different things, or they're the same like thing?
Well, strumming, I think fundamentally they're different things.
Okay.
But I will give the exact same advice, and that is keep your hand moving always. That is strumming rule number 1. No matter what the rhythm is that you want to play, once you move your hand in motion, it stays in motion. Now I can do every possible groove you can think of with this motion. I'm just going to choose which notes I want. If you're feeling the rhythm, bump, ba da ba da da, and you go, and you stop to play it, there's going to be this unnatural hesitation in there. So if I want to feel bump, ba da ba da ba, my hand moves, ba ba da ba da da, and that's a good way to practice. If you got a rhythm you want to play, sing it with your hand moving, bump, ba da ba da da. Slow it down and bump, ba da ba da da, and you realize that the offbeat notes are ups, ba da ba da da. So that rhythm ends up being down, up, down, up, down, up, and it'll happen naturally if you keep your hand in motion. Don't let the hand stop ever. That groove will sound better with a minor chord. Hear the minor 9. Voicing, by the way, is minor 7 voicing with pinky added up on the top string. Let me go through these real quick just to make sure you have all these. You know your regular E shape, right? You know a regular E major chord? Yeah. Regular E major, when you lift up the first finger, you get an E minor. Well, if you lift up your ring finger as well and just leave that one, it's a minor 7. That's a minor 7 chord. So you can use all of those on your bar chords too. E minor, or G minor now. G minor 7. The other one, of course, is E7. If you have this E major shape, lift up your ring finger and leave these two down, it's E dominant 7th, E7. And of course you can use that on your bar chords too. So the E shape and all of its variations, And then the A major shape and all of its variations are really important for bar chords. A major, some people play it like this. My fingers are just too fat to stack them all up on top of each other. But the A major shape, it's second fret, second fret, second fret on the D string, G string, and B string. However you end up doing it. I finger it the way I would finger like a D7. I use that fingering, but all in the same fret. 2, 1, 4 stacked on top of each other. That's my A major. Remove the middle finger. I mean, not this middle finger, but the middle note. In my case, it's my first finger. And then you have A7. A dominant seventh is those two. Move the bottom note down, and that's your A minor. Lift up your ring finger, and it's A minor 7. So I use those shapes as bar chords all the time. I do the regular A shape like this. I just bar it with that. People bar it with those, which is cool. And then the 7th chord, remove the middle note. Minors here, minor 7, all the same shapes. So learning all your A shapes and your E shapes in your open strings will help you with all your bar chords up here.
Okay.
And again, now we are recording, so you can go back and look at those.
Yeah.
If you want to learn E major, E minor, E7, E minor 7, A major, A minor, A7, and A minor 7. Those 4 shapes are really helpful
Okay.
for practicing your bar chords.
Okay. I heard that muting is used a lot in guitar. Is there like a good technique that I should approach it, like when muting?
For muting, like when you're
Uh,
like this.
isn't muting like stuff like
Yeah,
that, like with
I
certain
use it all the
styles?
time. I mean, it was huge.
Yeah.
You can tell the era. I grew up in the 80s, and everything was, hey, baby, I don't know that. That kind of stuff. Maybe people still do that, but we did it a lot in the 80s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really helpful. It's the flesh of the palm of your hand, not on the bridge, but not all the way off the bridge either. If I take it off the bridge, then it really is dead. I want a little bit of ring. So you just gotta find the sweet spot. Slide up and back. This is way too much. That's not enough. Moving back and forth between not using it to using it, letting it mute, letting it ring.
So you're muting all the strings, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you're talking about muting with this hand, yeah, the more you play, the better you get at kind of deadening. Like, I just want those bottom 2 notes to ring, but I can strum them all. And just the way my fingers, especially this finger, the way it's positioned, it's lightly touching everything else. While these 2, this one and this one, are ringing. Yeah, it takes time. But obviously, the more you practice it, the faster you'll get. But Yeah, and then for like fifth string chords, when I play fifth string chords, you can see this finger is just barely touching the E string on top to stop it from ringing. So if I'm going to play the C minor 7, that note's dead. Whenever I play that fifth string minor 7 voicing, I always think of that Doobie Brothers tune, Long Train Running. What else?
Okay. I can't think of anything. You want to just throw out whatever?
Yeah, let me throw another thing at you,
Yeah.
like some finger style stuff with the right
Yeah.
hand. And maybe I'll teach you. Let's learn three jazz chords and and then also like a bossa nova pattern.
Okay.
Let's say I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a 2-5-1 in, oh, I don't know. Let's do it in D. So I'm going to teach you three jazz chords. This is a minor 9 voicing. This is an E minor 9. I have my second finger on the 7th fret of the A string, my first finger on the 5th fret of the D string, and then my third and fourth fingers both on the 7th fret of the G and the B string. It's a minor 9 voicing. Okay. The next chord you're going to learn. So this is a jazz 2-5-1. This is a 2 chord. E. If E's my 2 chord, what key am I in? Oh, you're muted.
If E is the two chord, what key
What?
you're in? F.
Nope. E is the second note of a scale. If E is the second note of a scale, play an E on the piano.
Are you in E flat?
Now, E is the second note of a major scale. What's your first note of the scale?
Oh, you said D?
E.
E. Okay, it's right here. Yeah, E.
So E is the second note of a scale. My E minor is my 2 chord. So what key am I in? How far is it between 1 and 2 in a scale? In a major scale?
It's just
From 1 to 2 in a major scale?
wanted
Yeah, it's a whole step. So go a whole step down, and what key are you in?
D.
You're in D, yeah. The next
Okay.
chord I'm going to play is a 5 chord.
Okay.
What's a 5 chord in D?
An A major.
Yep. So I'm going to play an A7, but here's the jazz voicing. So this jazz voicing, I have my first finger on the low A on the 5th fret, E string 5th fret, then second finger, 5th string, or sorry, 5th fret D string, 6th fret G string for my ring finger, and 7th fret B string for my pinky. That's an A13. Okay? You have video, so you're going to be able to practice this. Then the 1 chord, D, is a D major 7, but this is actually a D major 9. The root is on the 5th fret of the A string, D. 4th fret of the D string, my first finger. Pinky is on the 6th fret of the G string, and my ring finger is on the 5th fret of the B string. That's the 9th. So you can go back and watch the video and learn those shapes. But I'm showing you these shapes for a couple reasons. First, to teach you a 2-5-1. So it's a jazz 2-5-1, which we play all the time. 2-5-1s all the time in jazz. But also it's a really nice pattern for like a bossa groove. Let's do that with a simpler chord. How about this D minor 7 here? So what I'm doing, alternating the root and 5th is here. While I play with these 3 fingers the next 3 notes of the chord. And a simple comping pattern could be like. I like this rhythm, 1, 2, and what is it? It's called partito alto. It's 1, 2, 3, and 3, 4, 1, 2. But whatever you use, comping wise, rhythmically, the important thing is that root and 5 motion. Like if I use this, say this G minor 7, so this is root, this is 5. A major. The idea of using this root 5 pattern wherever you are. So something to shoot for is that 2-5 pattern. 2-5. Also. Back and forth between the 2 and the 5 chord. These are advanced chords. It's going to take some time to get those under your fingers. My main point is the idea of the strum, that the thumb plays a bass note and these 3 fingers play a chord. You could even do it with open chord. Like here's A minor. So there's root 5, A and G. I'm doing all syncopations in the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But I can put some downbeats at the beginning maybe. Chord. I'm always thinking 1 4 5, you know. Good old 1 4 5, D minor, back to 1. 5 chords in E7, 6-string chords. So my bass is 6-string first. Back to A minor. Oops. E7. You can use that root 5 concept for like bolero patterns. Like en mi viejo San Juan, cuántos sueños forjé en mis noches de infancia. I don't remember all the words. Something about mis cuitas de amor son recuerdos del alma. Una tarde me fui hacia una extraña nación que es el destino. Pero mi corazón se quedó frente al mar en mi viejo San Juan. Adiós, Borinquen querida, tierra de mi amor. Adiós, mi diosa del mar, reina del palmar. Me voy, ya me voy, pero un día volveré a buscar mi querer, a soñar otra vez en mi viejo San Juan. You know that one?
No, I don't know the lyrics, but I heard it.
Yeah, you can't spend any time in Puerto Rico without hearing that song.
Yeah.
I heard that song for the first time in Viejo San Juan, in a little
Yeah.
park there right by where the big cathedral is.
Yeah.
In Old San Juan, there's a little park. It's kind of this weird triangle shape right there.
Yeah.
And there was a dude who plays there all the time, or at least he did
Yeah.
when I was there. Old guy with a
Yeah.
guitar. He's like always there. And I walked by and heard him singing that, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta learn that song. So I went back, I got my accordion, went back and sat down with him and learned
Oh,
it on my
nice.
accordion with him.
Yeah.
Those were really good times, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that bolero rhythm, that 1 2 3 4 1 3 4 1 3 4 1. It's a nice way to get the independence between your thumb and your other fingers. Thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers. Always searching for the root and the fifth.
So you're just picking the root and the fifth in your right hand?
Yeah, I'm choosing the root and the fifth from the chord. So like
Okay.
bar chords are easy because the first two notes are your root and your fifth. The lowest two notes in the chord. Root and fifth here, root and fifth there. It can be a little more complicated on open chords because things are kind of mixed up more. Like for a G chord, if you want root and fifth, you have to jump over here to the D string. For the C chord, I go down to the fifth. So my root is here, C, and my fifth is there, G. For A chords, it's right here, or you can go down. For D chords, D is your root, A is your fifth. Then I'm going to go down to an E chord and I can use low root. G or B is here. There's a strum I learned in Peru. It's these really interesting three grooves. Is it no? I have to look again. Anyway, it's messed with whenever I go to do that kind of groove. All of a sudden, my hand now gets confused because I learned this other groove. All right. Well, we better wrap it up. I gotta meet with some students to still doing their skills tests.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, thanks for everything, John. It was